This is my first time in this property. I had rising damp coming up straight on here.
Stop fucking around and buy a fucking house. Like, for fuck's sake.
It's just been valued at 105. Just don't be a dickhead. Because if you're just horrible to everyone, no one's going to want to work with you either. The money from the refinance, I'm putting straight onto my next project, which is in Aberdeen.
What's happening, people? We've got another video for you up in the northeast. This time we're in Eston in Middlesbrough with Ruaridh from Cleveland Property Sourcing. We've known Ruaridh for a little while now, as we're in the same network known as the Dealers Club run by the Fontaine Brothers. We've come down to his latest BRR project. We're going to meet Ruaridh, get to know what he does in property, find out a bit more about him and about the deal. So come inside and we'll have a look.
How's it going, lads?
What's happening, big man?
Good to see you, man. Yeah, not so bad.
So this is Ruaridh. If you'd like to introduce yourself to the people and tell them a bit more about what you do.
So I'm Ruaridh from Cleveland Property Sourcing. I mainly do, I do property sourcing. I've got my own investments and I also have serviced accommodation as well.
So what's the story behind this one? Is this your one? Have you sourced this one? What's the crack with it?
So this one's my own. I actually got it from another deal sourcer. So one I know in the area. And he also runs a building company, so he then managed the project start to finish.
Yes.
So yeah, this is my first time in this property. We bought it back to brick. I can send you guys a video so you guys can have a quick look at that.
Yes.
The purchase price is 49,000. It was a 26k refurb, and then it's just been valued at 105.
That's alright.
Tenancy's been agreed already with more like that at 700 a month. So yeah, we've told them we're going to sort the bits and pieces that need to be sorted. Definitely been some hurdles to overcome with it, but yeah, it's a decent deal. It's leaving about 10 grand in at the back end, with all the issues that sort of happened. It's not too bad, you know. Yeah, the money from the refinance, I'm putting straight onto my next project, which is in Aberdeen.
Recycling all that cash in.
Yeah, straight away, mate.
Yeah, if you want to take us for a tour around, just walk us through it. Obviously, you can explain what's going on with the wall and all that. And then,
So this is the living room. So what happened here is refurb was practically finished. Started doing viewings because we originally wanted to sell it, so I bought it to do it as a flip. Issues with the government changes and stuff. A lot of people weren't really buying properties, so we just sat on the market for a while. We got an offer straight away, but no one wanted to buy her house, so it was just the chain was holding it up. So decided not to, and then started viewings for tenants to come in. We hadn't had a viewing in a while. The first one came in. Had rising damp coming up straight on here. Yeah. So I told the builder. Builder was like, "Oh shit, sorry, no problem." Came straight around, tore the wall down. He's put damp rods in, and we're waiting for so we've got the heating on, just to let it all dry out and everything. And then as soon as everything's dried out, he's gonna re-put up that wall and do the little touch-ups that are needed in around as well, just to get it 100%, and also obviously clear the garden out and get that all sorted as well for when the new tenant moves in.
I mean, I think these are issues that people don't really talk about enough, innit? Because I've seen it quite a few times that when the property is not being used, obviously having the damp builds up. So when you're then coming back into it, that's an issue. So would you recommend that people sort of get the damp proofing done straight away, or is it just sort of...
The damp proofing was done. We did.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what was really weird about it. We put the membrane in, the whole lot was done, and it still got rising damp because it didn't dry properly without the heating on, with it being vacant. So, and look, the builder showed me the video of the membrane being put in as well, but he's come back around, free of charge.
Fair play,
because he's took responsibility, which is fair play to him.
Yeah, that's it.
So they've tore it all down. Like I said, they're going to redo the membrane and they're going to put the damp rods in to proper clear it up, and obviously get the heating on before they actually paint over it. Yeah, so hopefully it should all get dried out. It should be grand.
I mean, everyone wants to see the kitchen, mate, because this kitchen's fucking quality, innit? Do you know what I mean? I know you were saying earlier that you're proper chuffed with it, innit?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll insert photos and stuff into it, but how bad was it in comparison to what it is now?
There was nothing. It was literally empty.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't call it bad because, like that wall there, the entire property was just back to brick.
Oh,
it was a shell, Yeah. It'd been vacant for years, but yeah, it was so completely. There was nothing in here. It was just empty.
It's a very good spec. Like, what, if you don't mind telling the audience, what was the spend on the kitchen?
The kitchen itself was about £3,000 for the units and the installation, and then we had the tiles, which including the bathroom. I don't know how much it was for the whole lot, but for the bathroom as well, which we've tiled the whole thing, it's about £2,000-ish on the tiles and the labour.
I mean, the finish is quality, do you know what I mean? You see this in the high-end luxury properties, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a proper banging job they've done, do you know what I mean?
Oh, I was well chuffed of it, like, you can't complain at all.
Even the finish on the doors, mate, is proper quality, innit? Do you know what I mean? I bet you're buzzing. So, like, as it's your first one, like, how did you feel coming into it? Because I know you've sourced a lot of these, didn't you? But taking it on for yourself is different to sourcing a property.
I've always kind of got the head of diving, to be honest, jumping, no issues. If whatever happens and crack on, get over it. The buying process, you know, you wanted to pull your hair out because it was an auction property. I had the bridging solicitors to pay for, the seller solicitors, and then my own, and all the communication between the three was just a fucking nightmare.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But we got to the end of it, got through it in the end, and we did go past the notice period in the auction, and because it was my first auction, I was like, it leading up to the day, you stress out a bit, and then after the day, suddenly you don't really care as much anymore. You're just like, we'll get it done, and we'll deal with what we have to deal with. And yeah, like I said, it all got sorted, everything was sound enough in the end, you know.
Yeah, sick, man. I mean, how many bedrooms is it?
It's 2 bed.
Do you want to go see the bedroom?
Yeah,
It's sweet, mate. But yeah, mate, so obviously it's a 2 bed. Are the 2 beds common in this area? What's in the area? What's the makeup of the properties like?
Everywhere it's 2 beds. 2 beds
really?
all over the shop. Yeah, I mean it's so. A lot of Middlesbrough came up in the Victorian era.
Okay.
So it's just rows of 2-bed terraces everywhere. This street, if you walk down the street, all the properties are identical.
Same.
Going to the centre of Middlesbrough, where my other one is, that one, all the properties on the same street again. 2-bed terraces generally. You get the odd one here and there where people have converted it to a 4-bed or whatever, but generally I say a 2-bed. It's a 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah.
So downstairs, some of them have a 3rd bedroom where they've put a wall in and made the living room smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally they're all there or thereabouts.
It is quality, mate. Like obviously from the outside, I didn't think it would look like this, and I've come in and I'm like, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? So it is brilliant, mate. Do you want to see the other room as well? Yeah. I like this, man. That's good, man. So what's your target tenant then? I know you said you got it let. What was the target going into getting it let, if that makes sense?
So it's just, to be honest, a young family, however professionals. To be fair, I don't really care about what demographic or whoever it is comes in, just whoever's happy with it, whoever wants it, you know. There was no particular target we're aiming for. I did look at social housing providers, get one of them on in first, but they were offering like $560 or something a month, and we've got it agreed at $700.
Obviously, it makes sense. Is it a difficult process getting it tenanted, or is it quite straightforward? Or what was
it? Piece of piss. The agent already had all the pictures from trying to sell it. Yeah. I was like, look, can you put it on the rental market? No problem. Next thing I see, emails, viewing. So we did two block bookings in the week after we put it on the market for rent, and then put it. I think a week later we got an offer in straight away, they put the holding deposit down, and we cracked on. They work a wee bit differently, so they get the offer, secured it, to cancel all the future viewings, and then do referencing checks.
So the one thing I've noticed obviously in the property market is when interest rates go up, obviously the rental demand goes up, but the interest rates come down, it seems like a lot more people are trying to buy property. So how would you recommend to someone that's looking as a first-time investor to navigate the market? Because I know interest rates scare a lot of people. I know for you don't really give a shit. But
I don't think anyone should give a shit.
Yeah, really?
Like,
okay.
I say, advice to everyone, stop fucking around and buy a fucking house. Like, for fuck's sake, you know?
Yeah,
because it's interest rates. I don't know about you, but I don't have a crystal ball. So I can't sit and say, I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, interest rates are what? I think they've just gone down to 5%.
About 5% now, I think. Yeah.
But fuck me, like it could go down to 1% in the next year. It could go up to 11%.
Yeah, it happened.
It's been at 11% before, you know. So, you know, if you're scared of buying because of the interest rates, because you think you're like, oh, the interest rates are going to go down next year, so I'm going to buy then. No, stop fucking around, because it might not, you know.
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed as well, I think it's a bit dumb, is when people wait for the interest rates to come down, that's when property prices go up.
Exactly.
It's like, you're actually playing yourself because you're buying when it's more expensive, rather than when the interest rates are like up, and everything's cheaper. technically getting yourself a discount, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, there's so many ways when it's just fucking ironic. Like, you know, like, because also if you wait till next year for the interest rates to go down before you buy, then not only is the house going to be more expensive next year, so you're going to have to put more cash down anyway. But if you bought, especially for an investment property, if you're buying a house today, you've got a year of the property renting out. Interest rates are not so high, you're not going to cash flow on it. So you're still going to be making money for that year. You can put a 2-year mortgage on it, refinance in 2 years, so you're still going to enjoy the low interest rates in 2 years' time that you think's going to happen.
Good point.
And you've got the property will have gone up in value, so you can pull the equity out and use that to buy another house. Like,
it's what's it? It's time in the market, not time in the market.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big saying. So as everyone knows you source, now you live in London and you source a lot of properties up in Middlesbrough and the North East, What is your secret to remote sourcing or remote property investing?
So I have contacts. It's all about contacts. It's who you know, not what you know. So I've got, like in the North East, I've got a lot of agents here that they just do me favours essentially. You know, if they'll ring me coming back from a valuation on a property, I'll be in the car and they'll be like, mate, I've got a deal I reckon you could look at. Look at this one, send me the details. 90% of the time I'm saying, no, something good. But you get that 10% where it's like, yes mate, let's do it, cracking deal. They'll send me a video walkthrough. Now, some people might be a bit sceptical about agent walkthroughs. I get the cunts to go through behind the doors, check every last nook and cranny, and I also say, look, send me pictures of every little defect. And they'll literally, like, there'll be a little scuff in the paint and they'll send me a picture. It could be nothing, but it's just to prove to me that they're doing every last little bit.
So has it been like that from the get-go? Or is it like you had to try and error with agents and try and build that relationship before they started doing that? Or?
It was pretty much there from the get-go, because even with newer agents that I speak to now, and I'll say, look, can I get a video viewing, and they'll go around and they'll just walk in the room and do a quick whiz through, and they're like, well, I didn't see the ceiling, I didn't see behind the door, I didn't see this, I didn't see that.
Oh, so people like brutal with it.
And then look, they get it, because who's gonna look? I'm saying, look, I live in London. I'm not gonna drive all the way up there to view it. But at the same time, if you do this properly, we can get a sale out of it. And it saves that, because they're going to be going to the property anyway with other viewings or other stuff going on. And if it's one that we've got before it's gone on the market, they know that they're going to have to do a bunch of viewings down the line anyway, so it's going to save them a bit of time if I can sell it for them.
Yeah, true. And then obviously you've been sourcing for a while now. How long have you been sourcing for?
About 18 months.
18 months, okay. Yeah, decent bit of time in the industry then. So what would your advice be to someone either looking to invest or looking to start deal sourcing? What would be your advice?
So I've always got my 3 tips for sourcing, really. So I've said this a couple of times. It's don't be a hermit. It's the first one. You need to go out, speak to people, build connections. Don't be an idiot. You've got to be, sensible. You've got to do proper analysis on your deals that you find. You need to really dig deep into them and make sure they are deals, and basically be in a position where you'd want to buy it yourself. You don't want to sell a deal that you wouldn't want to buy yourself, unless it could be a different strategy you don't want to take on. But if it's something that you would invest in yourself, that's when you know it's a deal. And the third one is just don't be a dickhead, because if you're just horrible to everyone, no one's going to want to work with you either.
I think there's a fine line between being a wanker and obviously being too soft, isn't it? Because if you're, like you said, if you're a dickhead, no one's going to want to work with you. If you're too soft though, people will know you're soft and they'll try and push things past you. So I think there's a fine line in it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly, because people will try to pull the wool over your eyes.
100%.
There's also, if you're not, you have to be like, especially with a lot of people in this game, they respect it when you're a bit more assertive and you just sound. So there's a fine line where you're not soft, but then you also have to be, just be nice to people. Don't be straight up rude to them. If people ask you a question, help people out. Do bits and pieces here and there to just help people, and it just builds relationships, because that's the main thing. Everything comes down to your relationships with people. So just you got to be nice to. So people like you.
Because we've had it as a personal experience. Like when we was dealing with investors for the social housing units, we was being very, very soft with how we was following up with people that haven't replied, and we weren't getting much reception. The minute you're blunt and to the point, like, listen, let's stop wasting each other's time. Like, what's the crack? I think people respect you for chasing them up in that manner. So I do understand 100%.
Every follow up I do, whenever I send the brochure out and I haven't had a reply in like a day, I just, what do you reckon?
Really,
straight up, and I just copy it and paste it to all of them.
We do that as well.
If you spend too long with a nice long message like, oh hi, I was wondering what, it might work for some people, but it's your own time, and it's also, you have to be yourself as well, you know, just be your own person.
And then I guess one more question that wraps into that whole thing would be the builder side of things. Because obviously if you're sourcing BRRs, you want to make sure the build team's there. And obviously for your own as well, you want to make sure the build team's there. How has your experience been with builders? Have you had people that have messed you around? Like, what's the crack with that?
No, I've never been messed around by a builder. I mean, so like with this one we're in now, you can see, look, it's fairly done, and we've got that wall here. Yeah. It's to prove I've got a fucking unreal builder. Because so the story with that is, you know, basically we'd finished the refurb. Did a couple of viewings when we were trying to sell it, didn't sell, was empty for a wee bit, and then we've gone to get tenants in. When there was no viewings and nothing was going on, the agent came around to do a viewing with the tenant and saw we'd rising damp on that wall. I texted the builder, mate, yeah, look, it looks like we've got rising damp. Bearing in mind, when he did the video and stuff, I saw he put the damp membrane in, so it's just because the heating hasn't been on. Yeah. And he's like, no problem, mate. Came straight round, took the wall back down at his own cost, damp prodded it, heating's on, waiting for that to come in, and then he's gonna replaster it and repaint it after, just at his own cost, because he's taking responsibility for it. You know, he was around my folks not too long ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, so my folks had an issue with their kitchen floor. So he's actually, I've not met him in person, he's met my folks before me, and he's gone round and fixed the kitchen floor when he was doing, he was putting the skirting board back in and was nailing that back into the wall, and it just so happened he hit a water pipe. And he does it, and again straight, you know, I told him that you've hit a water pipe, he's straight back, sorting it all out, replaced the pipe, and at his own cost. Yeah. He's going back next week to replaster the, because he had to break the wall out to put the pipe in to replaster it all. You know, so he's a cracking bloke. Like, people make mistakes at the end of the day, and it's all about how you deal with them. Yeah. So, mate, I'd never call that a bad experience.
Nah, fair play, man. As you can see, this BRR has been done to an extremely high spec, mate. It's a quality property. What's next for you?
So as soon as the refinance comes back from this one, I've started conveyancing on the deal in Aberdeen I'm buying. Yeah. So it's going straight into that.
That's it.
The numbers in the Aberdeen one's unbelievable.
Yeah, sick.
Buying it for 34 grand, 10 grand refurb, 70k GDV.
Wow, that ain't bad, mate.
All money out on a bridging loan, so it's like,
brilliant, mate.
But yeah, then I'm sourcing a lot of deals in Aberdeen as well now, because the numbers there are just insane. Yeah. So if you want to get a deal, I mean, I source nationwide, so if you're looking at deals anywhere, but Aberdeen, we're getting a lot in there at the moment, get quite a few in Teesside, and we're getting quite a lot in South Wales. If you want any deals in those areas in particular, you know where to find me. If you have a look at Cleveland Property Sourcing on Instagram, or so you guys you'll
put it in the link below, put it on the screen, it'll be everywhere, mate. Drop them a follow, make sure, and if you want deals in Scotland or nationwide, like he said, drop them a follow, drop them a message, mate, and it'll sort you out.
Let's do it.
It's always great for us to come down to people's units like this and just learn what they're doing, see their experience and see how they got into property. If you like more property content like this, make sure you subscribe, like it, share it, and comment below the sort of property content you want to see.